It's simple, really. Great stories with a good cup of tea. It's the Tea with Mike show. On this episode of the show, we welcomed Craig Peace to the show. We were talking about music, his optimistic attitude, and I really think this episode gives great value to the people watching this. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and enjoy. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Tea with Mike show. I'm really excited for this one. The aim of the show, as always, is to create conversation and to tell stories and get to learn about different people that are doing great things, not only for themselves, but in their local community. And that's really what this show is all about, like learning from each other and really embracing the power of human beings. So with that being said, today I'd like to welcome to the show Craig. Welcome to Tea with Mike, man.
How's it going, man?
It's good, thank you.
Good. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you too. So let's just jump right in. And do you want to start by telling everyone a little bit about you?
Yeah, for sure. My name's Craig Pace. I'm a hip-hop artist and father and entertainer out of West Coast Canada. I live in Red Deer, and I grew up in Calgary and basically, West Coast Canada my whole life. And I've lived in Red Deer for the last 11 years. I have two amazing children, a beautiful fiance, and a solid team around me, and life's good. Happy to be here, man.
Also, and what's your favorite part about living in Canada, and specifically Western Canada?
Honestly, the scenery. BC. I'm from Vancouver Island originally, and there's nothing like the mountains and all the scenery and all that stuff. You can't go wrong driving through the mountains. It's just beautiful.
Awesome. And then so let's dive a little deeper into what was it like growing up on the west coast of Canada?
It was awesome. It was good. I grew up pretty fortunate. I had two loving parents up until I was 11 years old. But everything was pretty good. I was very blessed. I didn't really go without much. My mom was very loving, and she made sure that me and my brother were well taken care of. I grew up in a really blessed circumstance, and had some good friends. I didn't do too well in school, but I did well enough to get by and pass grade 12 and graduate. So, but I've always been into music prominently, and pretty normal upbringing in terms of growing up in Calgary.
Also, and then so you mentioned you weren't necessarily that great at school, which lots of people aren't, but a lot of people like have one specific part of school or a subject that they get kind of drawn more to. What was it that really sparked your interest in music?
Honestly, I loved writing and rapping, and I was 11 when I started writing and rhyming stuff in my mom's basement, and that was a huge part of my upbringing, was just music and everything music related, and diving into different artists and seeing the different genres and stuff. But in school, honestly, I was really into science. Science was, the most interesting thing that I could have possibly applied myself to was science. And I actually upgraded in forensic science when I graduated high school. I was going to be a toxicologist, but that didn't pan out exactly. But yeah, man. Honestly, yeah, music was like a huge part of my upbringing, and I'm happy. I'm very happy that I chose that path instead of something stupid, to get into that wouldn't be like an outlet for me to express myself. So yeah. I don't regret it. I'm one of the only people that kept with it from my circle from back in the day. There's a couple OGs, like my boys Steve and Josh, my producers, No Sleep. Two of my best friends, they're from junior high, and they're still doing it as well. But they're more producing right now, and I'm the artist that they're working with. So yeah, it's dope.
Awesome. And and you may not know, but why do you mentioned it? Music's always been a part of your life, but why do you think Craig, like still pursuing music and still being creative? And you said a couple of your friends work on the producing side, but why do you think all those people that you grew up with maybe didn't carry on doing music?
I mean, it's probably different for every person, but it's kind of, I get reminded of that picture where there's two miners and one is very, very close to all these diamonds, and then one is, the same distance where he's just about to give up, and the next swing is going to break through. I feel like it's that with music. You just have to be super, super dedicated, and a lot of people aren't. And a lot of people they just kind of fuck around with it, and everybody has their own reasons and stuff. I try not to judge people too much, but for me, it was just like, it was all about the investment. I knew that if I kept with it, I was going to get really good at it, and I enjoyed doing it, so it wasn't really like a task. But for people that fizzle out of stuff that they get into, maybe it's just not their passion. It's not for them. It's not for everybody. That's for damn sure. It's a lifelong journey. Like anything, Gary Vaynerchuk is a huge inspiration. I know he's been on your show, and that's cool as fuck. I just want to point out to everybody, definitely go watch that episode. But he has a lot of good analogies, and he says anything that happens quickly is a problem. And I really, really like that. And that's the same with music. It's like when you're plumbing in a house and you're running all the pipes, and the first time you turn on that tap, it's going to run really dirty and muddy water. You know what I mean? That's your creativity. That's your music, the content, the output that you're making. But as you let that run, as you make more music, it's going to start to run more clear. And then before you know it, you have a product that you're super proud of. That's kind of how I view it. I guess I was just stubborn. I never quit.
Nice.
Once I apply myself, I'm like, man, I'm going for that W for sure. So.
Awesome. Nice. And so, what do you think it was that drew you to rapping out of all of the different styles of music that are out there?
I listened to a rapper called DZK, and he was just like, man, he's crazy. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's got some of the most gifted, lyrically well-written, well-structured rhymes. Like he's fucking unbelievable. And I heard him when I was young, and I was just instantly hooked. I was like, man, you can rap about anything. This guy's crazy. And yeah, that's honestly like why I started rapping, was because of DZK. So shout out to DZ.
Nice, awesome. And then so like when you're writing rap, so like any type of music or anything creative, there's always a process. So in your process, which do you think about first, kind of the lyrics or the beat?
Usually the beat. I find like you can fit, if you write a verse and then somebody makes, they can kind of figure out the tempo in which you're spitting that at. They can kind of make you a beat to fit that and to tailor that song, but it's never as good as writing a song and penning something like right when you hear the beat. So my preference is hearing the instrumental first, and then like kind of vibing with it and thinking about stuff and just thinking about everything I've been through and what I'm trying to get across on this specific song, and if I have a topic or some shit, sometimes it's just like random, man. I'll just be chilling at work, and then somebody will say something, and then that'll spark it. I'll just like write it down in my phone or on something like a Post-it note or something. So yeah, my process is pretty normal. I just listen to the beat, put it on loud, and grab an energy drink and just start to give her money.
Nice. And then so you kind of touched on it, how like a lot of your beats like come in the moment, and then you have to capture the moment to work with later.
Yeah.
But so say you come back to the beat when you have time, and you're sitting in your studio to work on it. How long do you kind of like work with the beat for, like saying, actually I don't like this beat now because a period of time has passed?
I try to give it a little bit. Sometimes they don't hit me, and Steve Steve knows that, and he's called that out, like, because he showed me something and I'm like, I'm not really feeling that, and then he'll wait a month and show me it again, and I'm like, bro, that's fire. So it's a lot about like what kind of mood I'm in and what kind of energy I'm feeling at that particular time. I guess he's figured out. He called me out on that shit. So shout out to my boy Steve.
Nice. Steve's getting a lot of love in this conversation. I like it a lot.
Oh, he's a good dude, man. Honestly, he's the executive producer on my latest album, Beautiful Chaos, and that project has over 100,000 streams right now. So
congrats, man. That's big.
This guy is taking care of me. He's shown me love, and he's shown me more love than people that I grew up with. You know what I mean? You just meet somebody and you just vibe with them, and he's one of those people that genuinely has your back. Like you can tell the energy is right. You know. So yeah, he's definitely like somebody that I work very, very closely on music with. So I'm definitely gonna give him a lot of shout outs.
That's what we'll be doing the blooper reel later. Steve cut 1, Steve cut 38. Yeah. Oh, good, man. So that actually leads into how important is chemistry and kind of like collaboration with people in music, both in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Man, you ask wicked questions, bro. I just want to say that. Like you ask
getting better.
Genuinely good ass questions. Damn. It's honestly everything, man. If I don't vibe with you, if I don't like you as a person, I can't fuck with that at all. Like not even a little bit. And as I've become older and gone through different experiences, man, my tolerance has gone down with fake people, with any kind of toxic energy. Like I'll never ever fuck with somebody to try to get on if I don't like them as a person. You know what I mean? If I'm like, I know if Busta Rhymes was an asshole to hang out with in person, I probably wouldn't fuck with them. You know, it's like if I don't like you, I can't be around you. And chemistry is everything, man. So like anybody I work with, their energy is amazing. Like Shalissa, she's such a sweetheart. My producers, anybody, you know, my designer Jordan, he did my last music video, Freedom, and he's just a fucking solid dude before the business. And I think if you can respect somebody and trust somebody and like somebody on like a personal level, then the business is easy and it handles itself. You know, so chemistry is everything, bro.
So chemistry and how real and genuine and authentic he is as a person. And then if it was meant to be and it's right, it's going to happen naturally versus forced.
That's right, bro. That's right. It's like a relationship. If you got to force it, it's shit.
And so obviously all of your music has obviously lyrics in it. So do you feel like the majority of the times that you write music, there's a meaning, a message, and a story behind it?
Not really.
No. Not always.
Sometimes I'm like, man, that sounds so sick. You know? I mean, yeah. Not some artists like definitely stick to that kind of style. I just kind of like have fun with it. Some stuff I'm like, yeah, man, this is the content I want to go in with. This is the topic. I'm definitely gonna stick on this path, on this kind of energy, and on that shit. And other times I'm like, I just want to rip a fucking beat apart. You know?
Nice. So free flowing, you go with the flow, and
definitely, bro.
And that's what creates your creative identity, almost, right?
Yeah, man. Definitely. It's cool. It's honestly like the sickest feeling ever to be able to write something that you're actually genuinely a fan of. Because like if I don't fuck with myself, how can I expect anybody to fuck with me? You know, and like if you don't like what you're putting out, nobody's gonna like what you're putting out. You have to be your number one fan. And yeah, that's important.
Awesome. Do you want to tell us, obviously, a little bit more about your latest album, Beautiful Chaos? What's it about? Why people should kind of listen, and like a little bit behind how it was like put together?
Definitely, bro. A couple years ago, I dropped an album that was called Dark Times, and there was a lot of self-loathing, and I was still like learning what kind of artist I wanted to be. And then after that, I dropped an album called Madhouse. And Madhouse was me kind of like breaking out and honestly becoming, you know, developing into the artist that I wanted to be and that I knew I could be. I kind of like, I don't know, it was more like growth on that. But then my latest album, Beautiful Chaos, was just an embodiment of everything that I've learned and all my experiences and all my trials and tribulations. I think I recorded like 47 songs and something like 16 songs made the actual cut for the album. So there was a lot that went into that project over the last year as I was working on it. And I was fortunate enough to have Steve, No Sleep, and Josh work on it with me, and they did all, you know, they basically like executive produced the project, like every song they were involved with, and you know they did the mixing and mastering and shit. So it sounds audibly amazing, and it's done for iTunes. But yeah, the album was just like an embodiment of everything that I'm becoming and everything that I wanted to showcase. Because like, man, it's hard to describe being a rapper and truly, like, you know, a lot of people, like, they don't know why they make music, and I think they don't know the direction. But for me, it's the message. I like reaching people, and I like being able to make people feel good and you know, just like vibing out to your music and having a good time. And I'm not in any measure like party anthem shit. I try to have like a really good embodiment, like flow, lyrics, the cadence. I try to be like really, really interesting with the delivery now and try different vocal tonations and shit. So it's cool. Yeah, this album was just like an embodiment of everything that I've learned and the type of person that I'm becoming now, which is tenacious, very, very dedicated, and yeah, man, I'm very proud of the album, and it's over 120,000 streams. So I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what you can do when you just apply yourself and believe in yourself. The most important thing.
Awesome, and this leads nicely into, obviously, everybody, unless you've been living under a rock, knows we're living in a pandemic, which is affecting different people in different ways. But specifically, how has the pandemic affected the release of this album, if at all?
It's definitely affected the shows. Like I was booked to open for Chris Webby, and that got canceled, unfortunately, and that was pushed back. And like just all these shows this year was a total write-off, and it's very sad for artists that make a lot of the revenue through merchandise and shows and touring and stuff like that, to see this kind of effect and like cancellation, just a straight red cross all across the board for them.
Yeah.
So that certainly sucks ass. But in terms of the release, it didn't really impact it too much. You know, it still did numbers, and I'm trying to learn, like, it's all about the rollout. It's all about the marketing and pushing the album, because you only have one wave when you release that, and you want to have as many people in front of it as you can, because it's like the algorithms on Spotify and on iTunes and even Facebook and Instagram and all these, you know, fucking Twitter and TikTok, everything, man, it's algorithmically made to hold the little guys down. And it's hard to break through that 1,000 view, 10,000 view, 100,000 view tier. But if you can do it through marketing, if you can do that as a push, then Spotify and all these fucking stores that make billions of dollars, their algorithms go, oh, that's a really, really hot topic right now. There's a lot of eyes on that. I'm going to push that just a little bit harder. And that's how you start to appear on some playlists and shit. So it's really, really fucking important to have like the rollout. And that's honestly what I kind of flopped on with Beautiful Chaos. It still did numbers. It's still over 100,000 streams. I'm in no way ashamed of that. And that shit's organic. That's all from people adding it to their playlists. And I made a calculated move by paying an American rapper named NK47, you know, a really, really decent price for a verse, and that got almost 100,000 streams on the song alone. So you got to make some moves and invest in yourself. But yeah, the rollout's huge, and that's what I've learned. Like, the next album, the rollout's going to be crazy, man. You should put 3 times the marketing dollars into the actual like creation of the album. Like, if it costs you $1,000, you should fucking drop 3,000 into pushing that shit. Because what good's a Lamborghini if nobody sees it, you know?
Good. That's good, man. Yeah. So obviously, you can be super talented, you can have a good production team behind you, you can jam, but as you kind of started to alluding to, there's a lot more to kind of think about in 2020 with marketing and social media and branding. So
Definitely.
like how did you, I guess, how did you start diving into these like areas and start turning yourself into a brand versus just an artist?
By failing, constantly failing. Fuck, man. I can't even tell you how many times I've released songs and they've gotten like 7 views. Or, like, and 3 of those views are mine, for God's sake. So, like,
Because you had to edit something, yeah.
Sitting there refreshing that shit on YouTube. And then YouTube figured it out, fucking took those 3 away. So now you're at 4 views. And then your mom comments on it. She's like, I'm so proud of you. And you're like, Ma, get off my song. Fuck. But, honestly, just by failing constantly, bro, by failing and learning from people that have been doing it and listening to people like Gary Vee and studying the moves and just, man, no record label will pick you up if you're not already popping. It doesn't work like it did 20 years ago, where they would just literally pick anybody that looked, like they could be marketable and drop them into a puddle of marketing dollars and gasoline and fire that just goes crazy. It doesn't work like that anymore. You have to show them that you're popping on your own, and you got to learn the marketing. You got to learn, how do I run a website? How do I even get a website? What does it cost to keep a website up? Shit like that. And how do you funnel people from your social media to your website? To be honest, you should be using social media to funnel everybody to your website as a central hub. And then you can forward them to all your content. You can forward them to merchandise and shit. So, like, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're a smart dude, and your brand is really strong. And honestly, for me, it was just like the constant failure that I'm like, fuck, I'm so tired of this. Like, I need to learn what I'm doing here, because this is just not working. And insanity is just doing the same thing over and over and not, expecting different results and then getting mad that you got the same shit, but you've been doing the same shit. So, man, just failing constantly, bro.
Just going off that, that's my biggest challenge right now is to get people from my website, and then also to keep their attention span for more than 3 seconds. It's challenging.
Definitely, bro. If you can catch 3 seconds, you're doing really, really good. A lot of people just straight up click off when it comes to music, songs, websites, Facebook. They're scrolling. They're so quick to lose attention. If you don't have something captivating right in the start, you're just gonna lose them. But I think building and constantly changing shit.
Yeah,
just like
that's a big one.
Always having something new is it's so sick as a follower. Like when I watch your episodes, for instance, and I see you're not just interviewing music artists, but you're interviewing actors, you're interviewing entertainers, influencers. You're very diverse, and that's what's gonna pick up. And it's like a snowball, man. You just keep on giving cool, fucking really high quality content, and shit's gonna take care of itself. And then you're gonna be such a force that you cannot be stopped. Because like Gary Vee said, anything that comes fast is a problem. And
that's so true.
It's like, build it brick by brick, man. Will Smith's got like the sickest quote ever about building a brick wall. Are you familiar with it?
No, tell me.
He said, you don't have to build a brick wall in a day at one time. But if you can lay one brick the most perfectly that you can possibly lay that brick one day at a time, pretty soon you will have a wall. And that goes with anything, man. That's a career, a relationship, your finances, your motivation. So there's a lot of smart dudes out there doing it, and they're successful. And people like us who are influencers, who are entertainers, you got to learn from that shit, because they're the OGs that have been paving the paths. So watching someone like Gary Vee is so fucking valuable. It's unbelievable. I'm a huge Gary Vee fan.
Yeah, me too. And just going off what you're talking about, like brick by brick, that really kicks home, especially on the days when you don't feel like you're making as much progress, or there's a few weeks where the engagement goes down a bit, or the algorithms change and all that. Or but then on the flip side, then you have moments of like when I'm at work and people come into the liquor store and they're like, "Oh, it's Tea with Mike." That's so cool. Like they watch the show and most of the time you don't even know who they are.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, and you know what's cool as fuck about that, bro? I told my homies tonight, I'm like, I'm on the Tea with Mike show tonight, and they're like, that's badass. That's fucking cool as fuck. And yeah, they were like pretty stoked about it. So there you go, right there. There's two people outside of your circle that obviously follow you and watch your stuff, and I thought that was cool. I'm like, that's fucking sick, man. Good for him.
It's always cool because like obviously everyone's so busy they don't always have time to like message you like directly, but then there's moments like you described and I described where it's like patience, you know?
Man, it's everything, bro. Patience is huge, and that's the sad part. It's like I watched something tonight and it was just talking about how people are so impatient. They want the quick gratification, satisfaction right now. They don't want to. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die for it. Mentality, and that shit's no good, man. If it comes quick, it can go just as quick. And if you have patience, nothing worthwhile has shortcuts to it. And I've just learned that from failing constantly. And then you start to learn. You're like, hey, if you step there, I'm going to fall. I'm not going to step there. I'm going to step over that this time. And then you get to the next side. And then you just keep on fucking going and try to learn from your mistakes. That's the big part. Man, you're doomed if you don't, bro.
Interesting. Yeah, I was just thinking in that moment, it's almost like a video game in some ways, starting from like level 0 and like building up your character, and then things come along to like knock you down.
Yeah, definitely.
You got to keep bouncing back and keep believing.
It's Crash Bandicoot, man.
Awesome. So we'll have a quick recharge and we'll have a little tea fact.
Sounds good.
Sweet. So one of the benefits of drinking peppermint tea is that it helps with mental clarity. Peppermint has been found to aid in performance for complex tasks and help ease mental fatigue. So that definitely makes it a cup of tea that's a great choice, especially for an afternoon pick-me-up. And that comes from tasteofhome.com. That's pretty cool.
There's nothing better than a couple honeys in a peppermint tea when you have a sore throat. That's the greatest.
Do you like peppermint tea?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I have a couple a week actually.
Do you tend to drink it like when you're busy creating content and shooting videos, when you maybe are putting more strain on your voice?
Yeah, definitely when I'm recording and stuff, or if my throat's not feeling good, like if you have a cold or if you're doing a show or something like that, it's really good, man.
Awesome. And then so obviously I know the last, let's say, a month, 2 months have been super busy for you. You got some new things on the horizon. So do you want to share some of the things that have been going on in that period of time?
Yeah, for sure, brother. So I'm working with Humanity Heroes. It's an international organization that's whole vision is to help people that are less fortunate, and it's an amazing organization. And they approached me because I have a song called Homeless Not Hopeless, and that turned out to be one of their campaign names. So they've reached out, and I'm now working with an international organization that helps homeless people. So I'm just so blessed, and I'm so proud of that. And Shalissa sang on the song with me. Steve No Sleep and Josh custom made the instrumental, and man, that's like the coolest thing that I have going on right now is that. I'm so proud of that. I can't wait to see what comes of that,
Cool. And let's just talk a little bit of. Obviously, you mentioned that you had a song with kind of the same name for this particular campaign, but just out of interest, how did they kind of like reach out to you? Because I want to see if how these big places and opportunities are reaching out from maybe different places and maybe an email from 10 years ago, for example.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be honest. When it came in, it came in from Humanity Heroes, like the actual domain, and it was a lady named Melissa who had reached out to me and said, "Hi, this is my role here," and she's very high up. I think she's one of like the main organizers for the organization, and she basically said, "This is my role with the company. We found your music. I would like to schedule a phone call and have a formal meeting over the phone with you. And if you're interested in that, I'd like to do that." And I emailed back and I said, "That's amazing. I'm down for that. Let's do it." And then I talked to her. She was super cool, very nice. I was so blown away at just how cool of a situation that is. You know, because the song was 3 years old. It had like 600 views on it. And then for this company that's so vast to notice somebody with 50,000 views on YouTube like my channel does is nothing. That's just a drop in the ocean. I was blown away. I still am. So yeah, she actually reached out. It led to a phone call, a couple phone calls, and then a few emails. And yeah, I signed like a media release contract and stuff.
Oh, very cool, man.
So yeah, man. So they can use it for like commercials. They can use it for Facebook, any kind of ads, anything they want to use my music for. I'm all for. So Steve completely custom did the instrumental. You know, Steve, Josh, and Shalissa were all involved in the project, and then we re-recorded the vocals, and I just sent them to her. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
wicked, man.
yeah, man.
So I'm sure we'll see more about that very soon.
So cool, man. So cool. Because, like, to get to help people as well as doing something musically, man, fuck, sign me up. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome, bro.
And you might not know, but do you know how they found it? Did someone just was random?
Yeah. So their team was basically like they just announced the campaign name as Homeless Not Hopeless. They must have Googled that. I have a pretty strong YouTube presence, so Pureverb Homeless Not Hopeless came up. They're like, holy fucking shit, this guy made a song about helping homeless people, and this is the campaign name. It just made sense to them, I guess, and they reached out, and it was, you know, the rest is just history. It's crazy.
That's so gnarly because it goes back to what we were talking about literally a couple of minutes ago, and it's a demonstration of consistency and patience and branding and creating that digital presence. And
yeah,
you said the song was like 3 years old, so it may not happen tomorrow. It may not happen in a year. Like 3 years,
it may take three, man. You never know.
So you never know when that next opportunity is where it's gonna come from.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. And I will say, my homie Steve is a big fan of yours, and he has a request to be on your show. So if you have any interest in having him on your show, he would be down as fuck.
Yeah, let's talk about it afterwards for sure. 100%. So it strikes me you're quite positive. You always try to make the best of the situations that you find yourself in, both in your regular life and then also through your music. So how important is staying optimistic, especially right now with everything that's going on in the world?
It's very important, man. I know a lot of people are hurting. There's a lot of people that are going through depression, and they have anxiety, panic. They don't know what's going to happen in the future. And you just got to know, man, you just got to understand that the world is going to keep turning. The world has been turning before you. It will turn long after you. So to worry yourself about things that you can't control, it's just poisonous to your mind. So you got to just wrap your head around the fact that you just are here right now to do the best job you can and help everybody you can, and just be a good fucking person. And a lot of people like let go of that value recently, and you see like there's so much negativity online. I know it's like 85% negativity on Facebook, and there's like there's like a water skiing squirrel video, and then you're like, oh shit, that's sick, and then you scroll down again, and there's like more negativity, and then there's like
Yeah.
Trump being a crazy psycho, and people hating on Trudeau, and you know,
It's getting worse too, not better. Like even
it's
if you
getting
went from
worse,
a
man.
year ago, like it's a lot worse.
It's getting worse, bro. And I'll be honest, it's not looking good. It's gonna be it's gonna be even worse in 5 years. So you got to be the change that you want to see in the world. You got to be a positive person, and not be fake about it.
Oh, 100%.
You know, and if you're like, you know, people are like, how can you just be positive all the time when there's so much negativity in this? And it just goes back to letting all that negativity in. You can't let that negativity in because it's gonna sink you.
Oh, awesome. And then so going off that train of thought, how do you keep positivity in your life? Kind of who do you surround yourself with?
My family, bro. I'll be honest, my kids, my fiance, she's the greatest thing I have in my life are my children and my soon-to-be wife, and I'm very, very blessed, very blessed. There's just no way around that at all. My family is everything, and my mom is very supportive. My dad's supportive. My brother's a big fan, and I got wicked friends. It's all about who you surround yourself with. Yeah.
Nice, nice man. So obviously, you're working. You've got your music. You mentioned the importance of good friends and kind of family to you. Like, what do you do to switch off?
I play video
Like?
games.
Yeah.
I like playing video games. Yeah, I love PS4. Any kind of like Call of Duty, Diablo 3, Diablo 2, like StarCraft, any of that shit, man. I used to play World of Warcraft. I'll play virtually anything. Right now I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn, I think it's called. And yeah, man, I play video games. Play video games, hang with my family, and write music. It's like all I do. So that's definitely, you know, I love gaming. I'm a nerd, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, my dad played video games, my brother played video games,
cool.
and I play video games. So yeah.
It's definitely in the family.
Yeah, bro, for sure.
That's
Yeah, man.
awesome. And then so let's flip the script, flip the lyrics if we're being musical. I'll now give you an opportunity to ask me a question or two or three or eight.
Sounds good, man. A question for you.
Yeah, sure.
How do you stay motivated? How do you stay so motivated when, let's be honest, it's hard to stay motivated. It's easier to just not do things and push your brand. You know, how do you find the motivation, and where do you really turn to keep on going and to persevere?
Okay. Good question. It comes from a few different places. So the first example, I guess, is the one I was alluding to earlier. So like some days it feels like it's going nowhere, but then you have those like cool moments in like public when you're serving a customer and they've watched a show, or they know someone that's watched a show. So there's definitely that.
Yeah.
And then number two, definitely the health of my family. Everyone's healthy at the moment. Nobody has the coronavirus.
Perfect.
So that's really a big win. And that's definitely not something you can take for granted, because they're all the way around the world: Australia, America,
Wow.
England, Ireland. So they're all over the place. So definitely that.
That's good.
Good friends. It's something that I've been trying to get better at over probably the last 6 months, is reducing the amount of people that I hang out with and really focusing on building those quality relationships. Those people I know I can turn to if it gets tough or I need to talk about a difficult subject. I know I can trust those people.
That's important.
So those are the big three, and then just, I guess, drinking lots of tea, like when the weather's nasty and as it's about to turn cold. Obviously, where we're living for people that are going to be watching this.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then just the Facebook memories, like when they come up. Like 1 year ago, I was doing this on the Tea with Mike show, and I was like, "Well, that looks dumb,"
That's cool.
and like in the progress and how the show like keeps on improving through the consistency and the patience is super rewarding. So that's probably how I'd answer in kind of a nutshell.
That's a good answer. I like that, man. I like that. All right, let's flip it here for a second. What is your favorite kind of food and why?
I have lots of favorite food, but if I'm
top three.
Top three?
Yeah.
Fish and chips.
Nice. Good call.
Second one, I always have it on my birthday. It's like a homemade chicken pie with cauliflower, cheese, sausages, mashed potato, and gravy. It's like an old blowout.
Oh, you had me at chicken pie.
Yeah. And then there's always like a chocolate brownie and ice cream for dessert. So that's a real solid one. And then at number three, I haven't had it for a while, but when I was living in England, you can't go wrong with waking up like slightly later and having a full English breakfast with sausages, bacon, mushroom toast, lots of good multiple cups of tea, and that. So that's what I kind of go with. What about you?
That's sick. I like all those. That's good. Honestly, ribs. My fiance makes like the greatest ribs with a homemade sauce from scratch. Ooh. Oh man! By the time she's done with it, slow cooked, like they're just falling apart. It's amazing. I love her ribs. Like,
nothing beats homemade cooking for sure.
Yeah, she's a good cook. Pizza. I really like pizza, and chicken with like anything. I'm a big fan of chickens in general. I like what they stand for, and I like how they taste. Like anything like chicken parm, chicken Alfredo, just barbecue chicken. I really like barbecuing and doing like briskets and shit like that, and like slow cooked ribs. Anything that's just like a southern barbecue style, Texas style barbecue. Oh, don't even get me started.
So from what you're telling me, kind of a bit like your music and a lot of this conversation, you don't mind being patient and waiting for like the food process and that length of time for the food to taste just right.
Bro, if I'm patient with anything, it's that slow cooker with the brisket. You know what I mean? That's it. That has me. A couple cold beers and some meat. I love barbecued anything, man. It's wicked.
Awesome.
So yeah, chicken. I used to eat like shit, honestly, but I'm trying to like clean up my eating.
Okay.
And eat a lot better, and yeah, that's the fuel. So you gotta eat clean.
Me too. I'd say I'm trying to eat better too. Like just started going to the gym, invested in some personal training.
Good for you, bro.
Yeah. I just went for my second personal training today, and it feels good. Like it feels good, especially when you like dial out everybody else and like what they're doing, and you just like focus in on yourself. That's like the hardest part, but yet the most rewarding part.
Yeah, it's a good investment, definitely.
Awesome, man.
For sure, bro.
Well, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Yo, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your time, and I love what you're doing. You got my support anytime.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, big fan of you.
All right, guys, this was another episode of the Tea with Mike show with Craig. I really hope you got some value from this one, and you share it with all of your friends and the people you know, because I think it's worth it. I can genuinely sit here and issue those words because I really think it's worth your time. So make sure you check out this and all of the other great stuff at teawithmike.com, and then we'll obviously link to some of Craig's music and stuff, so you can go get those stream numbers up on Spotify. Let's go for like 125,000. Baby steps.
Yeah, definitely. I'll take it. Thanks, man.
All right, man. It's the Tea with Mike show.